So, good afternoon to everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Mm, Today is the last class for MEG-14. It is block 8 that we are going to discuss. Non-fictional prose. Okay. Translations of non-fictional prose in Indian literature. So, we'll discuss that non-fictional prose. There are four autobiographies or biographies, you can say, biographies and autobiographies, which has been considered as non-fictional prose. And we have Premchand, his life and times by his own son Amrit Rai. This is one. Bama Bama's Karoku. There is another. Sadat Hussain Manto's on Ismat. Okay, that is another biography. Uma Prasad Mukhopadhyay, Mani Mahesh, another biography. So we have four biographies to cover, and we'll start with Amrit Rai's Premchand. Premchand and his life and times. Okay, so the history of biography or the history of writing biography in any language, particularly in regional languages of India, we find it started very late. Okay, uh, biography is a very important genre we find in the Western literary tradition quite long ago. It is very important for the sake of uh, dignifying a personality and remembering somebody after even after his death. Some people we find biography of such some limited persons are available. Okay, biographies of some limited persons, and sometimes we find the biographies are very much manipulated, contaminated with certain um concepts, certain perceptions of different publishers, editors, and by the course of its publication, we find a lot of changes. Okay, the writer writes in his own way, but autobiography we can say is more authentic in that sense. Biography is written by somebody else. Autobiography means writing about yourself by yourself. Okay, so here we find this particular non-fictional uh, genre very to be very neglected kind of genre in Indian culture, Indian literature. But later, anyway, we find certain people they come up with the vigor to uh, concentrate on biographies and autobiographies, and we have a lot of biographies today. Okay, particularly in 19th century, we find some of the authors they tried to write. They tried their best to um, look at this particular genre, and they started writing biography. This is not fictional. Fictional, it is non-fictional or not fictional. You can say it is not fictional because we do not find any fiction. Fiction means uh, a product of imagination. A story. We find a story here in every biography. We find a story, the story of the person whose biography is being written. He is the center in the biography or in the autobiography. We have a central character, certain other characters. We find the movement of the plot can also be located. You will find that the with the growing age of the means the concerned central character, we find there are different kind of movements, and the plot moves, the story goes ahead. but you do not find the kind of climax, anticlimax, these kind of things. Okay, but still, if you look at each and every biography, you find a story. We find many stories inside it, many experiences of the writer, or the person concerned. We find a lot of experiences. So that is why it is very important. And in Western culture, it was introduced quite earlier because it is a kind of homage, you can say. It is a kind of respect to a person who died doing something great. Okay, some king, some important political leaders, some actors, some writers, literary figures, whoever, a sculptor, a painter, whoever may be, a person with some prestigious, means, you can say, some uh, genius, with some genius, so those who are genius having a lot of qualities in them, some unique qualities, so they should be remembered. And this is way, means all of literary figures, they usually be remembered because they have a lot of text, and while reading their text, you are supposed to go through their background, their history. But others, suppose like a painter, politician, the politician, you find who changed um, certain rules and regulations, policies. Okay, we find we are changing history day by day. We are changing what history says. Okay, now you find Kashmir came to Indian territory, became completely a part of India with the evolution of the Act. You know that 370. So that is a historical step. The politician did that. The government, who means the head of the government who did that, has encountered a lot of problems. The same situation, the same person, you may find in different ages of history. There are people, those who have endured a lot of criticism, a lot of caricature by the critics, but still they have done something very miraculous, something wonderful, something beautiful, significant. So they must be remembered. And how can they be remembered? They are not authors that only if you write about them, if their biographies are there, whatever they did actually will be transferred to the next generation. That is why it was very important. Uh, this unit, you will find, first unit is Premchand's and his life and times by Amrit Rai. It was written in Hindi, but later it was translated into English by Harish Trivedi. Okay, when it was written in Hindi by his own son Amrit Rai, it was actually uh, named as Premchand Kalam Ka Sipahi. It was the title. Okay, but while translating, they do not find any substitute or any exact translation of Kalam Ka Sipahi. Okay, both Amrit Rai and Trivedi, Harish Trivedi, they set together to finalize a subtitle to the main title, but they have a lot of options like uh, pen as sword. Okay, like this, they thought of different subtitles, but no subtitle was um, equally relevant, equally means replicating this Hindi. The actual translation could not be, means when a proper translation will be there with all the meanings. Kalam ka Sipahi has a unique meaning. Okay, in no way you can translate the meaning of this particular phrase in any phrase of English. So whatever may be the translation, how can you translate? But the essence of this particular subtitle cannot be achieved if you write in English. Okay, that is why they thought of, means, removing the subtitle, and they simply wrote Premchand, his life and times. But if you read the uh, original title of the biography. It was Premchand, Kalam Ka Sipahi. Okay, a Sipahi means a soldier, with a pen as his weapon. He has fought several fights. He has won several battles using the pen as his sword, the pen as his weapon. So that is how Premchand has been described in this particular book by his own son. Okay, and it is similar to autobiography in this sense. It is similar to autobiography. Autobiography is actually written by the author himself, but here Amrit Rai is not the author himself, but is very close to the author. Someone else having some research on Premchand, going to him, visiting him, asking certain questions. If could have written a biography, that would be different. But his own son, who was very close, who has lived many years with his father and has seen his father very closely, has written this biography. That is why it is no way less than an autobiography. It discusses Premchand's life and concerns, how his life, how he started his life, and what was the exact concern in his life. Throughout his life, what did he do? How he is a very important figure of study. Why you are now prescribed to study Premchand? So that is what you need to find out, or his son tried to put it in the biography. We find only 4 chapters from the original biography taken, because the original, the Hindi version is very long. Okay, it is very long, 600 pages or something. But actually, the abridged version was translated by the drama, means by the uh, author, you can say Harish Trivedi. Harish Trivedi translated the abridged version of Amrit Rai's, uh, you can say, original Hindi biography of Premchand. Okay, the total biography would be very thick, very huge, very long. So that is why he thought of translating the abridged version, because 600 page, you can imagine how long it will be. 640 pages, sorry. The original was 640 pages. Amrit Rai, if you talk about him, Amrit Rai was a prolific writer, Hindi writer, a novelist, a short story writer, a dramatist, okay, a biographer, and a translator also. Amrit Rai, the son of Munshi Premchand, is a prolific Hindi writer, novelist, story writer, dramatist, biographer, and translator also. And he has received a Sahitya Academy award, a prestigious award that is given to somebody who has some great achievements in literary arena, literary fields. Mm, Kalam Ka Sipahi is one of his best works about his own father in 1963. It was published in 1963. He has published certain novels also: Beej, Nagafoni Ka Desh, Hathi Ka Dant. Okay, these are the novels by Amrit Rai in Hindi. Okay, he has written in Hindi. Short stories are also there. Some short story collections like Itihas, Kasbe Ka, Ek Din. Okay, uh, भोर से पहले. These are the काटघरे, काटघरे. These are some of his story collections, short story collections. He has also translated. I said he was also a translator. He has translated Agni Diksha. Okay, Adi Vidrohi. These are his translated texts. So now coming to Premchand, Munshi Premchand is very well known by this name, Munshi Premchand. All of us, we have read Munshi Premchand, his stories or stories. Okay, he was born in 1880. and died in 1936. Is the greatest novelist and short story writer in Hindi. Okay, is one of the greatest, you can say, in India. Premchand is the best kind of writer in Indian Hindi literature, you can say. And if you talk about his biography, Premchand Kalam Ki Sipahi, so you will find this biography is the first authentic biography of Premchand. So you'll find a lot of other biography of Premchand written by other authors, but this is the most authentic biography, I said, because his son was very close to him, knows him very closely, and associated with him all in with all his activities. That is why he could write very, uh, very, means he was very close. That is why he could write everything about Premchand. It was a classic. It is considered as a classic in Hindi literature. This biography of um, Premchand is considered as a classic in Hindi literature. Classic means, I've already told you, a very exemplary text which has relevance in all the ages. We consider it as a classic. So it is considered a classic in Hindi literature. Yes, know that. Written in Hindi in 1962. Okay, it was written in 1962, and later an abridged version of it. Uh, the original was 640 pages, I said. Okay, but later it was translated. The abridged version was translated into English by Harish Trivedi in 1982. Okay, so we have been prescribed uh, with the introduction part of this biography, chapter 2, 12, 19, 25, and 33. So these are the chapters have been prescribed, okay, with the introduction. All these chapters with the introduction, they cover the life and writings of Premchand. Okay, the life and his concern, that is writing. His concern, main concern was writing, and the, you can say, the secondary concerns were informing people, awareing people, creating a sense of integrity, and making the people feel very nationalistic. Okay, so bringing out nationalism, or injecting nationalism in all the human being, all the Indians at that time. Okay, it was very important because of the uh, movements in freedom struggle of India, movements for independence. So he has a lot of several secondary concerns, you can say, but the primary concern was writing, because whatever he did through writing. So writing was his major concern. Okay, uh, his addiction to reading and writing was from the very beginning. Okay, was from the very beginning. When he was very small, he started to read a lot of things. Okay, at the age of 13, he discovered the power of pen. When he was 13 years old, he started writing initially. Okay, before that, he was only reading, but at the age of 13, he started to write. So when he started writing, he understood the actual power of pen. So what pen can actually do. Okay, so that is how he discovered. We say there is a name, the chapter named discovery of the power of pen. Okay, so gradually his conviction as a writer got consolidated. He became confident enough that I can write, I can use this sword, I can use this weapon very tactfully. So everybody who has the weapon, who has the gun, cannot shoot. So shooting with the gun or using the weapon you possess is something very important. You need conviction for that. So here we find Premchand used the pen with conviction, and he was very successful. Gandhiji, Mahatma Gandhi, he influenced him a lot. Okay, with the influence of Mahatma Gandhi, he has written a lot of books, a lot of stories, a lot of novels. Okay, you can find the influence of Gandhi in most of his writings. Okay, the writer as a sipahi, kalam ka sipahi, he went to the battlefield with the pen as the weapon. Okay, particularly the issue of the languages at that time. There was a very prominent issue between Urdu and Hindi language. Okay, Hindi and Urdu. Actually, he was also writing in Urdu initially. Means this Premchand was also writing in Urdu, and he knew that the controversy between these two languages. Okay, and about his views on language, particularly about Hindi, Urdu, and their hostility. Okay, Hindi language, or the people who like Hindi language, they do not pay respect to Urdu language, and the people those who like or write or read Hindi, Urdu language, they always undermine Hindi language. So that was the thing going on, and he tried, means Premchand tried to bridge the gulf, the widening gap. Okay, he wanted to make a solution to the controversy. Okay, he wanted to bridge the gap between Urdu and Hindi. That is another important. And later on, we find he was writing in Hindi. It's like a novel. This biography is like a novel. I said uh, biographies or autobiographies are no way less than a novel, because a novel has a story, and in a biography you find a story also. So here, this biography is a novel. Okay, it's like a novel whose hero was a man named Premchand, with the difference that he was not a figment of his imagination, but a figure of flesh and blood. Okay, this line was actually written by uh, Amrit Rai. This is a novel whose hero was a man named Premchand, with the difference that he was not a figment of imagination, but a figure of flesh and blood. He is not a figment of imagination. This character, novel, drama, short story, we find the characters being imaginary. They are, though they have some realistic attributes in them, and they have been imagined with the reality at the base, but still the characters are in novels and stories and dramas. They are purely imaginary. Okay, we cannot make real characters. So that is what you know. But here, if you talk about Premchand, the character is not a figment of imagination, not an imaginary one. A real character, a real edge, made of flesh and blood. The subtitle "Kalam Ka Sipahi," it was rejected. I said "Kalam Ka Sipahi." The subtitle was rejected. Okay, uh, though there was no appropriate substitute in English, while translating, they were forced to drop the subtitle. Okay, but initially they were very much interested to translate anyway. This is the very significant symbolic subtitle, Kalam Ka Sipahi, you can imagine. Okay, uh, Rimchand was a broad-minded person. Okay, he was broad-minded in the sense he was not only thinking about his own area. He is not confined to his own locality. He was trying to He believes that total India is his family. Okay, total Indians are his family members. So that is how we say whatever he wrote in his writing, we find he has a very broad ideology. Okay, he is not limited to a particular area, rather he is open, and he is a real freedom fighter. We say he's a real freedom fighter in that way, because he tried to, I said, he tried to make the people conscious about nationalism, about patriotism through his writing. Okay, through using the pen as a sword, he came to the front. Okay, and he started fighting with the British government along with Mahatma Gandhi and other freedom fighters. That is why he is called um, Kalam Ka Sipahi. Okay. The subtitle is very apt in Hindi, so that is why it's necessary to be uh, understood. The biography did not spare his father, means Amrit Rai. Amrit Rai did not spare his father and did not forget to criticize. Okay, Premchand was obsessed for a praise of his own, irrespective of his poverty, you can say. Okay, a photograph is given in the material, material also you'll find the photograph in which the shoes that he is wearing is patte jutte. Aise, means this is how it is written, means it is a torn, you can say. His means the leg is visible from the shoes. Okay, the shoe is a very old one, and a very means you can say torn kind of shoes. There were holes in the shoes that his fingers are visible from through the holes. So he was wearing that. He used to wear simple dhoti. Okay, so he is not at all showy by nature. He's very simple, the simplest person, you can say. You must not have seen a very simple person like him anywhere. Okay, okay, patte jute and a simple dhoti. So these are the symbols, these are the indications. You can understand that how poor they were and how simple is at the same time they were. But still, he was very much obsessive that he should possess a press of his own. So press is something by which you can publish anything you like. But when you depend on a publisher, they examine your text, your writing. If they do not means uh, get satisfied with what you have given, what you have written, they may reject it. So for that sake, in order to serve the country, in order to write anything against the British government or anything, whatever he believes, whatever he thinks, he need a free press. Okay, so that is why he thought of having his own press, but he could not possess that. That was something that his son Amrita criticized about him. Though he has no political stability, he is politically very weak, economically very weak, but still, uh, without considering his economical status, he has dreamt of a press of his own. Okay, that is something you can criticize, but at the same time, it is his kind of patriotic attitude that he has shown towards the freedom struggle of India. Mm. Biography, the the genre of biography laments over the Indians' concept of shying away from biography, from writing biography. Okay, I told you in the initial discussion when we started. Um Biography is no less creative than writing a novel. Okay, biography is the same as writing a novel. It is the same way creative like a novel. So it was very means Indians took a long time to understand this. Ramachandra Guha, you must have heard about him. He is a critic as well as a very good historian, a very well-known historian, has written many books for history, and he is also a biographer. He says that we know now, we know how to burn our dead with reverence or bury them through neglect, but not to evaluate, judge, or honor them. This is the line exactly said by Ramchandra Guha, a very famous historian, a biographer. Okay, he said that try to understand, we, the Indians, we know how to burn our dead, okay, with reverence or bury them through neglect, but not to evaluate, judge, or honor them. So, how can you evaluate? How can you judge? How can you honor them who is dead? Suppose when your forefather, your ancestors, they are now dead, but you know nothing about them. Okay, so anyone of your family could have written about them at that time, but nobody tried. Okay, so there are many unsung heroes exist in India that biographies can be written for them. So Ramchandra Guha said that if you want to pay a homage, tribute, okay, to your means respected forefathers, your mm, ancestors, so you have to read their biography. You have to write their biography. First, write the biography. You and your next generation, they will know about the rich culture of our country, the rich potentiality of our Indian people, or about your family also, if you say. So, actual evaluation, actual judgment can be possible if we know a person completely. But there is no way left in India, so we do not feel. So, the problem is that the Indian tendency was very negative. We know how to eulogize people, how to condemn people. Okay, so sometimes we praise somebody like anything. Okay, and if you do not like, we condemn like anything also. The actual reality is very less expressed in any kind of text. Okay, so that is very you can say this is not um, true to writing biography. If you think of writing biography, so you have to focus on reality. A person should be depicted as he is or she is. But if you like the person, you will eulogize and you will praise him like anything. You will exaggerate him and pose him like the greatest of the heroes. And if you do not like that person, you will condemn like anything. So that will never be a good biography or biography. You cannot say it a biography. So Indian people has this tendency. If they like them, and people also, you will find Indian people also, they do not like to hear criticism. They like to hear praises. If somebody is praising you, you feel proud. Okay, you feel that I am very good, I am very uh, I said very well, I spoke very well, so I played very well. If somebody is praising, if somebody is pointing at you, if somebody is criticizing you, you have committed something wrong, and in order to rectify that, if somebody said a statement which criticizes your deed, so you become very unhappy. you become very sad. So that is the tendency, and because of that tendency, that the biography as a genre came late to India. Okay, a biography of Dhirubhai Ambani, you must have heard this name. A biography of Ambani, Dhirubhai Ambani, the Polyester Prince. Okay, it was named as the Polyester Prince, published in 1998. Okay, but became because of it, it was not praising the person written described. The book is not available in any stores now. You go to any store and ask for the book, it is not available. Okay, so why this is happening? This is, for example, Ramachandra Guha has given this example of Dhirubhai Ambani. So why he is saying so? Because Indians have the tendency, okay, they have this instinct by blood, in their blood, that we must be praised even if we commit something very wrong, we commit something very illegal. People should praise us. We may not have potentiality, but people should say we are the greatest one, then only we will be happy. But if we are not happy, if we find people criticizing us, we will use all our powers and dominion, you can say, to suppress that comment, suppress that view. Today also, do you think that the higher level people, like those who have a lot of money, can you criticize them publicly? No. There are many ways that they can suppress your voice. Okay, so if you know about Mukesh Ambani, Mukesh Ambani has some 26 channels. You must have idea. Okay, has 26 channels. Means he governs the telecast of news himself only. You think of, if one news will be telecast in 26 channels, then think what will ultimately happen. So this is how the views, the comments are neglected and suppressed, and the praises are highlighted. The admirations are highlighted. If you admire somebody, that will be highlighted. If you criticize somebody, that will be suppressed. Nobody will hear your criticism, and that will be nil, completely nil. Nobody can hear it. So how can biography exist in such a culture? Okay, so this is very important. The genre of biography writing combines both authenticity of history with the aesthet- aesthetics, the aesthetical parts. Okay, we know aesthetics of literature. It combines two things: authenticity of history and the aesthetics of literature, the beauty of literature. Aesthetics means the beauty of literature and the authenticity of history. Both of the things you will find in a combined manner in a biography. Therefore, it is the most difficult genre. Only imagination, if you have only imagination, you can write a novel, you can write a story, but you cannot write a biography unless you have the knowledge of literature as well as the knowledge of history. You must know how to deal with historical facts. Okay, then only you can think of writing a biography. So that is why Ramachandra Gua, he is a historian and a biographer also. So one must be either a historian or a literary figure if you want to write. If you are both, then it is very good. You can write definitely good biographies. But a historian with no literary knowledge, or a literary figure with no knowledge in history, they can never try uh, for writing biographies. Okay, a good biography should know the person well and should not um, whitewash, should not waver, you can say. Okay, so good biographer A good biographer should know the person well. If you are writing about a person, you must know the person very well. Okay, you should not whitewash. Whitewash in the sense, suppose you do not know a person, you do not know about his weaknesses or strengths, and you are writing anything just to whitewash that particular aspect. So that is not a good biography, or one who is writing that is not a good biographer. So a good biographer should have the knowledge. You have to go to that person, you should talk to that person, you should live that with that person. Then only you can know certain things. By looking on the surface part of a person, you cannot take for granted about his temperament, about his conscience, about his psychology. In order to understand that, you need to go to the person, live with, means spend a lot of time, not one day, 1 hour. Okay. So Premchand is very simple. I said he discovers the power of pen in only at the age of 13. Started writing stories of social relevance. In the age of 13, he started writing about the stories of social relevance, okay, which is very meaningful to the society, which was quite relevant for the society. He shifted from Urdu to Hindi, I said. He shifted from Urdu to Hindi. Okay. Um, he was a man of family. Family here means both his family and the family of the world. Okay. Serving the country as his family, as a larger family. He was serving the country through his pen as his weapon. He was fighting, and he was taking care of the whole family. The country was the larger family. For doing that, he did not neglect his own family. That is also important. You should know that by giving importance to India as a larger family, he did not neglect his own family. Okay. He was influenced by Mahatma Gandhi the most, I said, and you can see, you can find Mahatma Gandhi's influence in most of his writings. Okay, so this much we can talk about uh, um, Primchand, the Kalam Ka Sipahi. This is a very important biography. So go through all the chapters in details. Um, so accordingly, you can prepare for the exam. I just gave a view, brief idea about what the chapters is about, what the chapter altogether discuss. So now we'll come to another important uh, mm, biography, that is Karukku by Bama. Okay, that is also a very interesting one. Okay, Karukku was translated by Lakshmi Halmstad. Okay, it was a book by Bama. Bama, you can say the biography of Bama also. This is Bama is a pseudonym. Pseudonym means a pen name, you can say. A pseudonym, uh, one who is afraid of revealing his or her name, they use pseudonyms. Okay, many writers we find in history of literature, many writers they used pseudonyms. So the original name is uh, Faustina Mary Fatima Rani. This is the original name of Bama, but but she used to write with this name Bama. Okay, Bama, uh, Karukku by Bama we say, but actually the original name is Faustina Mary Fatima Rani. And this is An introduction. This biography is an introduction to Dalit literature, okay, from Tamil Nadu. Dalit literature. It's a very good concept. Now, a lot of research being undertaken uh, on this particular area, Dalit literature. Okay, Dalit literature is a very emerging school of study in literature, and you are now introduced to that Dalit literature. So, by reading this Karukku, you will be introduced to Dalit literature, uh, mostly which this book is talking about Tamil Nadu. Okay, this book was written as a means of healing my inward wounds. I had no other motives. Bama said herself while writing this book, she had said, we will go to explain all these things throughout the discussion. We'll discuss. Okay. She said, this book was written as a means of healing my inward wounds. My inward wounds. Wounds means that it has she has been hot in many places, and there are scars, you can say wounds. Okay, I had no other motive. I had no other motive. So only motive is to heal my inward wounds. Okay, so that is very interesting. So now we'll go to the Dalit. So when we say Dalit is a new concept. Dalit means ground, crust, crust with feet, or broken into pieces. This is a Marathi word, okay, with Sanskrit root. It has Sanskrit root, but actually this is a Marathi word, Dalit, which means crust, broken into pieces, ground, the lower. Okay, ground means the lower. They are considered as the outcast, the untouchables, sometimes called Harijan. Okay, Harijan is a term coined by Mahatma Gandhi. B.R. Ambedkar, while making the Constitution of India, has introduced to a phrase for these kind of people, that is scheduled castes. Okay, B.R. Ambedkar is treated as the greatest of Dalit leader. He is the leader. Okay, in his journal um, Bahishkruta Bharat, B.R. Ambedkar has written an article, Bahishkruta Bharat. He defined Dalithood there and mentioned the word scheduled caste. Okay, life conditions which characterize the exploitation, suppression, marginalization of this Dalit by social, economic, cultural, and political dominion of the upper caste Brahminical ideology. So, in his Bahishkruta Bharat, B.R. Ambedkar writes this. Okay? These are the quotations that they are very important. So, you should put all these quotations in your writing if you can remember, if you can mug up, you keep in mind and write down in your answers. That will give a good impression. So life conditions which characterize the exploitation, suppression, and marginalization of Dalit by social, economic, cultural, and political dominion of the upper caste Brahminical ideology. So this is by uh, B.R. Ambedkar, the leader of Dalit Vishay, and in his article Bahishkruta Bharat, he has defined like this: Dalithood is like this. So here you find exploitation, separation, and marginalization. All these three words are very negative kind of words when we talk about equality, when we talk about liberty, when we talk about fraternity. So these three words have no existence at all when we talk of equality. Okay, we are equal. We all are equal um, in front of law. Okay, before law, we say in our preamble of our constitution. But do you think that is the truth in India? No. So Dalit are the people. You can now you can you may have the idea what Dalit exactly mean. They are socially, economically, culturally, and politically they are dominated. They are dominated. They are not given a single way to go ahead, to move forward, to do something in their life, to live a peaceful, healthy, sound life, life of contentment, happy life in any means. They are not given a single chance, not given any a little way, a little chance to them. Always this higher class, upper class people, they exploit them. They always drag their leg down. If someone is going up, they drag them down. You should not go. You are lawyer, you are Harijan, you are scheduled caste, you are Dalit. Okay. So you should not go up. We the dominated class, the dominated people, we will be always on the top and you will be always in the bottom. So you cannot go to that. That is the kind of discrimination that always we find in India. Okay. So many things are there. We do not have enough time to go through all these things. Okay. But still, here we'll find that Bama is the most important Dalit writer known for her autobiographical novel Karuko. Okay. It was published in 1992. Okay. You can see that Bama is the first kind of woman writer, Dalit woman writer in Tamil Nadu. So he said at the end, we'll find he cursed herself. He has been cursed with three monsters, triple monsters. She is talking about triple monsters. One is caste, second one is class, and third one is gender. Okay. She said that caste is very low, means very low caste, and class is also very low because of class, because of caste, because of gender also. She is a woman, and that is how these three triple monsters, three monsters, they are always um, exploiting or means making them feel like this, and they are always on the bottom of the society. Always, they are not in the mainstream of the society. They are the outcast. They are the outcast. Okay, this is very important. You should understand that this is very interesting. This is a novel, we say, because it has all the characteristics of a novel. We find Bama was born in Tamil Nadu in 1958 in a Roman Catholic family. Their family belongs to Christianity. So see, at the beginning, this is also due to conversion. They are not originally Christians. You know that during British rule, the British government has tried all the applied all the means, all the way they have gone through in order to convert the Indians into Christianity, into Christians. Okay, her grandfather got converted to Christianity. Okay, he was landless, laborers working under upper caste landlords. So that is why Christianity is only kind of aid for them. They get certain helps from Christianity or the Christian people. Okay. the missionary, they provided certain helps. On the other hand, they wanted to change their religion to convert them. So that happened in India. We find a large number of people being converted to Christianity, changed their religion. So these people, they are usually landless, they do not have lands, they live without lands. Okay, Bama's father was in army, though made a little difference. Because of that, Bama could go to the school. But while in school, she felt that these lower class people, these outcast kind of people, they have no place, neither in the society nor in any kind of educational institution, nor in any kind of religious places. So you'll find when Bama went to school, she finds the same situation there. Okay, if she is wearing a very low quality dress, the students, the classmates will criticize her. One day she did not go to a function because she could not means afford a new sari for the function, and she kept herself hidden inside the bathroom throughout the function. So that is very pathetic. You can understand that all your classmates always laughing at you, always separating you as different. You are not equal to us. You are not talented like us. You have nothing to be proud of. You are means when you are always criticized and looked at in the kind of very mm, in the you can say hatredness, with all kind of hatredness. So how can you resist? How long can you resist? Anyhow, after his school, when she thought of joining a convent school, okay, she thought that by that she can help the lower class people, the outcast people, those who are suffering like her. So she wanted and joined convent, and she found that in that convent also, she find that the people in that religious kind of place, in a church, where church means where government means the God is everything, Jesus Christ is everything. There is no caste, only all belong to the one religion, Christianity. There also she is criticized, she is treated like an outcast, she was not behaved properly, she is always treated like somebody very different, not equal to the other people. So the same thing. Okay, I'm going in brief. We cannot go in details because we have very less time. It's already 4. So we find that though she studied, became a non. Okay, okay, but she finds that it is the church is not a place for her. Later, she realized that the church is not also safe, not secure for her. That they are the victim of exploitation. She thought by being educated, by being a teacher, joining a religious place like a convent school, she will be a changed kind of person, and she will help other people of her community to change. But she was just in vain. Okay, uh, she wrote Sangati, another novel, just after she left the convent school, went into the village. There, she has a gathering with the village people. She finds peace there. She finds communal harmony there. She finds that people only there in her community, they are understanding the sentiment of Bama. So that is why the next part of this book, that is a novel, you can say, published in 1994, is named Sangati. Okay, this is called Karakku. Karakku means a palm leaf kind of thing. Palm leaf with have which has you can say two sides of a sword, like that. In both of the sides of the stem of that leaf, if you see, they are like swords. You cannot hold it. Both sides you have uh, the tooth like which can hurt you. So that is why she has given this name is a palmyra leaves, okay, like double edged sword. Uh, so we find that here, um, both the society and the religion to some extent, she believes that they are, at least they will be treated equal. Their in internal heart, in internal talents, their minds, their psychology will be given respect, she thought, but that was all in vain. Okay, so that is why the book has been named as Karak. Dalit have become, means, for the word God is living and active, sharper than the two-edged sword, piercing to the division of soul and spirit, of joints and marrow. Okay, this is what says, what has been extracted. They have the sword having two edged in both of the sides is piercing to divide the soul and spirit. It pierces to divide the soul and spirit, and we find that the soul and spirit have been divided in case of Bama also. It was very important. uh, a lot of other things are left, so we cannot cover all these things. Okay, anyhow, so thank you all. I think we have to stop because the next class has been scheduled, and today was the last class. It was a quite pleasurable experience to teach all of you for this around 15 days or more than that. We are taking classes, and today is the last class. You are free to contact me. I have given my number in that schedule. You must have got the number. So in case of any problem, you can call me, ask me, you can mail me also. Hello,
Yes, sir.
any question? If you have any question, you can ask.
Sir, hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, a question is there. Like, for example, we have read the biographies of Mahatma Gandhi, and Mahatma Gandhi's biography has been written versatilely, and we find that each book agree on disagreeing with each other. That means the facts are distorted in such a manner that, as if the right author is trying to reflect his own prejudice. So, when we say that these kind of biographies exist in our society right now, so how can we say that it is not little somewhat less important than those novels or even fiction genre, because they are deliberately saying that we are writing fiction. They are not saying that we are writing with authenticity of materials.
That is something our culture is about, I said, but you will find definitely a very authentic representation of facts, historical facts, in any of the works. There may be several works available for a particular person, but there may be a particular author, a particular book, which you may think is genuine, is authentic. So you can refer to that book. But when we have different authors, so we may vary, their viewpoints may vary. They can write in different ways. And when it is about extracting the history, if you today, if you want to write about Mahatma Gandhi, so you will be solely dependent on history. But
Yes.
you have to focus on those writers, those who are very close to Mahatma Gandhi, lived according in that particular time. Okay, and those who are free from bias available at that time. Okay, so definitely biography, autobiography is more authentic, and biography will be a mixed kind of thing. and people those who are free from these kind of things, okay, are very genuine and authentic by their approach, so you can follow their books. Okay.
Yes, sir. And second question is literature of repressed is same as Dalit literature?
Is literature?
Of repressed or theater of repressed is same as Dalit literature?
No. Repressed is not actually always Dalit literature.
Yes.
Is There is repression, you can find oppression in Dalit literature, we find, but the nature of repression, the nature of oppression, the reason behind it are completely different. You cannot say that the way the slaves are repressed in America, the same kind of oppression was going on in India, also, the Dalits. Okay, this is the slaves have a kind of oppression there also. And if you talk about other operations, like when Indians were under the colony of the Britishers, they are also oppressed to some extent. Okay, so at that time you cannot say that this operation is the same as the operation of the Dalit. Uh, Suppressed literature or repressed literature are different. Repression can be found as the theme, main theme of the uh, works, but actually they are different.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So anyone else? Okay, thank you very much. So once again, I said I have tried my best to give you some brief ideas about whatever present, but this uh, time frame is quite insufficient to cover to teach everything like classroom teaching in PG classrooms. That is different. We have 1.5 hour or 2 hour class at a stretch, and 3 4 classes every day. Okay, so that is different, and here you have only 1 hour with many problems, and we have a very long syllabus that we need to cover. So that is why it's very difficult to cover everything. Anyway, we tried our best. Thank you all. In case you need any help, you are free to contact me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So,
Thank you, sir.